What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Littleroot Lessons, episode 309. I'm your host, Angelo, and I'm joined by the hardest working producer in Pokemon podcasting, Carl. How's it going, buddy?
It's going. This week was rough, let me tell you. Just life stuff's rough.
You're telling me. Well, I mean, it's good stuff for me. The closing date on the house moved up like a week and a half, but so we're actually not the day you finish this because it moved a little, but by the next episode I will be a homeowner officially, which is exciting. We have like the packing boxes already behind me. Had to start packing like the office and everything today. We're going to do like a slow move, but getting going on it all. And then also, as we're currently recording, the Grammys are going on, and as someone who works in the music industry, this is a busy week for me.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
It's you put every single person in the music business in one place at the same time, and they all want meetings, and you have to stay home because the company didn't budget for you to go to LA, and now that you're just getting reports out and just sending PowerPoints to your boss.
There you go.
Next, I was already told next year I will actually not go to the Grammys itself. Like, my company does get tickets, but I will be able to go during Grammy week. I was invited to some events this past year. I've been told I will stay on the list, even though I wasn't able to make it, which is nice. So,
well, that's awful nice of them.
It'll be nice in a year. But yeah, one of the things we missed last week because we were so busy going over Birmingham is there was a second regional that occurred. In Latin American, was it a regional or special event?
So I think there was overall 2, because there was the Auckland special event, which the data for that didn't get put up until a week later, but I believe it happened the same weekend.
It did. I know it's not even on Lab Mouse.
Yeah, because it was literally just I think it had maybe 50 masters in it at that, if that.
What is it? It's a 2019 like Ultra Sun Ultra Moon event.
It's Auckland. It's in New Zealand. So like people don't really get to travel to New Zealand all that often, and usually the flights there are crazy expensive anyway. So the overall player pool was small. Yeah. But it was mostly the same team in different forms for the most part. We didn't miss a whole lot, I feel like, from that one. But we did miss some pretty cool stuff in Meridia, which we will pull up Meridia.
Yeah.
Let me get this button to work here. Where is Meridia?
I was going to say, I can send the link if you haven't.
I had it open. I just had to find it in the long list of windows I have open on my computer.
Yeah, so one of the stories last week was the Prominence of Balance. It's a European event. We know what it is. Just as a quick glance, the story of Merida is simply bears.
Bear. Not bears.
Bear. hey, no, my bear's in 12. You can go. It made the screen. But yes, it is a single bear. Hisui and Ursaluna. Like Carl and I were talking a little before we recorded. This might be one of the best performances by a Pokemon in a single weekend.
That not named like, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Urshifu.
That's not like a staple. Hisui and Ursaluna went into the event as the 17th most popular Pokemon. And going from day 1 to day 2, we had a 13% increase in usage, from 10% to 23%, being the 11th most used Pokemon in day 2, and dominating the top of the standings.
Looking through some of the stuff about this Pokemon, I feel like one of the big changes that we saw from what we thought P2 Ursaluna was going to look like going into this Regulation F Part 2 is the introduction of this like Tornadus weather / speed control Pokemon on these teams. Usually these P2 Ursaluna teams were just very slow, looking to play with Trick Room, not really caring about this going fast or having a really good fast mode. Usually you had a 2-mon fast mode, and that was the thing. Looking at the teams, it's kind of the opposite now. P2 Ursaluna is your slow mode, and the rest of the team operates very well outside of Trick Room.
Yeah. One of the things that this team overall reminds me of, or at least the ideology behind it, when you look at like yes, you have the aspect of Tailwind added to the team, along with a few different balance pieces. It kind of feels like different conglomerations of what we used to see with Blood Moon Ursaluna last format with Regulation F, where you had the balance mode or mode with balance pieces, and then you also had these very strong like tail room teams. And now
you had the bear.
Yeah. And now with this, it's like you have the tail room aspect with the Tornadus and the P2. So it's a P2 instead of a Fergaraf, a duck instead of a giraffe, and
there's some giraffes and other stuff in one of these teams. These teams definitely aren't all the same when we get to them. I made sure, like, when I was taking my notes, I was like, okay, not all of them are P2. It's mostly Ursaluna plus Trick Room Setter, and then the rest of the pieces kind of fill out a more balancy, fast core.
Yeah.
Like this, like we'll just take a look at the first one here. This is Max Morales' first place team. Ursaluna P2, Ogerpon, Wellspring, Tornadus, Incineroar, Golden Go, for the people not actually watching a video. Overall, what you see here is you kind of have a Ursaluna, Ogerpon, Porygon, Incin. You have this kind of bulky balance set. Not quite super like TR heavy like you would see with like an Amoonguss or some other Pokemon, but it's more in that line of I can play outside of Trick Room with my Tornadus. I can play inside of Trick Room with my Ursaluna Porygon combo. Golden Go cleans up everything that I can't clean up usually with Ursaluna and Ogerpon. So it ends up being a sort of Rain Dance, Ogerpon, Ursaluna hybrid mishmash, I guess is the best way to call it. It has a lot of the balance elements that we were used to seeing on the balance teams.
Yeah. And then you also get those go modes. The Ursalunas on these teams aren't running like the 0 speed. There is some speed investment, not a ton, but like you can.
I think it's enough to hit. You play enough to outspeed. I think it's like base 80 under Tailwind.
Yeah,
I can't remember
if you can.
It's not a big number.
So outspeeding base 80. Give me a moment. Base 80 plus speed.
Yeah.
So that is 145. So you would want to hit 146.
Should be 70.
Which
72.
Yep.
Which isn't a huge ask. It's a lot, but it isn't a huge.
Yeah, it's you're hitting you're hitting usually 70. Yeah, it's 73, which is only 20. It's 24 speed. 24 EVs in your speed stat without it being negative. So again, it's not a lot, but it is that like just enough number, and you could go a little higher depending on how fast you want it.
I think it kind of depends on what your damage rolls want to look like, because there's spreads on Munch stats that are hitting like 204 neutral speed, like 204 invest neutral adamant attack instead of brave. So you're looking at like a fairly fast bear in terms of
204 hits 96 speed, 192 in Trick Room, 192 in Tailwind,
which you're fast. That's fast for an Ursaluna. That is very, very fast.
With the way you're outspeeding all modest Flutter Mane. Actually, you're in Tailwind. You're outspeeding the modest Flutters. You're outspeeding, the modest Flutters is because you assume that the Timids are booster energy.
Yeah, the Timids are going to outspeed you all the time.
Yeah, like you're outspeeding like a ton of important stuff. Pretty much anything that's not like booster speed or Scarf or boosted in any other way. 192 is like outspeeding it in this format. So that does give the Pokemon, or at least this team, along with the balancing aspects of like your Fire, Water, Grass, your setup Mon and the Dango, playing like the Trick Room sort of game. If like you also have the screw it, like double protect into Tailwind EQ or Tailwind Head.
Tailwind EQ just blow
go
everything up.
Or even like not even just going with the ursaluna on that mode, starting the game off with the Metal Coat Goldango just firing off Make It Rains. The boosting item on the Goldango allows the Make It Rain to do a little more damage and be a bit more of an immediate threat without the Nasty Plot setup. And then, okay, you got through my Tailwind mode with this Goldango. Well, here's a duck and a bear. I'm going to go into the fun room now. And now you get to deal with another menace. This is a very, very powerful team. I think right now it is, of course, I'm saying this for a regional winning team, but this overall composition of like Hisuian Ursaluna Tail Room is just insanely powerful right now. About 2.5 years ago, when we went into Regulation D, and everyone was so afraid of the amount of damage that Hisuian Ursaluna could do, and then no one was able to figure it out. And then no one could figure out for Regulation E. Barely, someone like Nils did figure it out just for EUIC, but it felt more like a shot in the dark, like flash of the pan than actually figuring it out. The Mon is really figured out now, and I think everyone knows, not only, everyone already knew how powerful it was, but now everyone knows, oh yeah, this is also how we are supposed to pilot it. And that is the really cool part of this team, is just seeing people take this like really, really powerful Pokemon and utilize every single possible tool to maximize all of its different strengths.
Yeah. We're gonna stick with Ursaluna since we're talking about Ursaluna, and it's I guess we could call it a meteoric rise for this past weekend. This was the other version, kind of what we saw a little bit in Meridia. It's more of the sun. I almost want to call it Sunroom because it's kind of Sunroom-esque. You have your Tornadus with Sunny Day, you have Fluttermane, you have the Hearthfire Ogerpon, you have Incineroar. All of these Pokemon do really, really well having Sunny Day up. And we swapped out our Porygon 2 as our TR setter into Farigiraf instead. Farigiraf giving you that Armor Tail anti-priority stuff, which this team kind of doesn't really need all the time. You have a lot of just like you have the Cloak on Tornadus, your Fluttermane's a Ghost type. You have Spiky Shield and Protects on a lot of your other Pokemon. So like the only Pokemon that's really getting faked out on this team that cares is probably the Incineroar. But at that point, if you're faking out an Incineroar, you're just trading fake outs. So
yeah, the main thing that this one of the friends of the pod, so Junie, CJ, and Chalky, two of the three of them piloted a very similar team, or at least like the idea of like this Sun plus Farig, like more Trick Roomy team. One of the reasons why the Farig works so well is because of the amount of like Sucker Punch, Ice Shard, like that. The other priority that really threatens your Fluttermane. The Fluttermane in the Sun with Specs is a nuclear option, and it's one of the Pokemon where you could run it with booster speed, and it's like, okay, not only am I the fastest thing on the field, I'm also the strongest because I can go Terra Fairy Moonblast with Specs. Like, it's essentially a +1/+1. And a lot of teams, their only tool to handle it is like critting a Thunderclap or critting a Sucker Punch. And now the Farigiraf just completely takes that tool away from your opponent. They have to play within the speed tier limits. And if you're playing on that quote-unquote fair like playing field, it's not fair because you brought a gun to a knife fight. But yeah, that is like the main idea behind running the Farigiraf on these teams. Now, this one again is very much more like, it's not really a Trick Room team. They go again with the Tail Room. Incin helping with the Incineroar and the Ogerpon. You're always going to be able to get your Trick Room up, whether with the Fake Out support or the Follow Me support. The Sunny Day you're getting from the Torn is nice because it always means you'll have the last weather. Because you're playing the manual weather, you don't have to worry about like the switching sort of thing. If you don't have you don't need the weather up, it's nice to have. Like you don't need it up all the time, and it does play some like mind games, or at least give you options. The Incineroars, I'm not sure if they're still running Adamant on the Assault Vest sets, but that is an option that we have seen.
I think they mostly are still.
Yeah. So, like, even if it's like
swap
Adamant 36, which is the first bump, throwing that in the sun, like, people, Instant's got like what, a base 115, 120 attack stat,
something like that.
That's going to, with the sun boost, that Flare Blitz is going to hit hard. Yeah. And of course, we have the Ogerpon Heartflame as well. Especially if you want to just really triple down on everything, get the sun up, get the Terra in, get that +1 to attack, you're going to blow pretty much everything up in the format. And that is like the really cool thing with the Torn, with like a Tornadus Ogerpon lead, or a Torn Flutter lead. Are they putting up the Sunny Day? Or are they setting the Trick Room? I'm not Trick Room, I did it again, Tailwind. You can tell but actually I don't think I've pressed Trick Room in a month or so, which, you know, rehab's working. But yeah, it's like one of those things where it just gives you a lot of optionality, and it creates leads that force your opponent to have to make a read immediately. And you can get them in positions where if they make the wrong lead, they just read, they can lose on lead, which is like a really, really cool thing with a team like this.
Yeah.
And of course, again, like because we didn't shout him out. This is Julio Eller, who came in 6th place. He was one of the 5 players in the top 8. It's
one of the 5 in the top 8 that
with
have
an Ursaluna.
With an Ursaluna Trick Room team. Yeah.
3rd and 4th, it's a very like
third and 4th are, I believe, they are the exact same from what I looked at.
There's like a few differences I'm like going through right now. There's some Terra differences. There's an item difference on the Amoonguss, and actually a set difference.
The only true difference is one Ursaluna's Ghost, one Ursaluna's Dragon in terms of Terra. The rest of the Terras do the same job, just for different types.
Yeah. Yep. So, and yeah, like just going through it. So,
like, here's the one. These are what we're used to seeing, minus the Tornadus. You're used to seeing Amoonguss, Incineroar, Porygon, Urshifu, Ursaluna. Yeah. Like these are what the teams looked like pretty much before a lot of the times, and we would just play whatever in the 6th slot. It's usually just like another Trick Room abuser or something like that.
And now it's just going.
And now it's just go fast, hit things with Rain Dance, Urshifu. I would almost argue you could probably kill this Amoonguss in this team and just play that Water Pond or Rock Pond or whatever you want in this last slot, depending on like how much you want to go in on the rain, or if you want to go in on sun, or if you want to go in on just having a sturdy Follow Me Mon.
Yeah. So just going through like again like specific differences between the two teams. This is David Israel Soto's team. So Waterfu, Incin, Ursaluna, Torn, P2, Amoonguss. The difference between his team and 4th place, Kenneth Gamboa's team. So on Soto's team, his P2. One moment. Yep, I have it right here. So there's no change in the P2. It's the Urshifu is Terra Steel. The Tornadus is holding the Sky Plate, which, again, a flying type boosting item. And this is a Terra Fairy Amoonguss with Pollen Puff over Sludge Bomb. While Kenneth is using... Oh, and also it's Rocky Helmet Amoonguss.
Yeah.
Kenneth is using the Mental Herb Amoonguss with Sludge Bomb, Terra Fire on the Urshifu, and is also...
Covert Cloak,
along with the Terra difference on the Ursaluna as well.
This is one that's weird to me. Is why are we Terra Dragon?
So I've had a few of my USP.
I understand when people will tell me it's Terra Fairy. That one I understand a lot more. Like that one I feel like, okay, I get that one a little bit. Dragon doesn't remove any like crazy weaknesses. Like you're not going to get hit by a water type attack for super effective damage, but you probably weren't getting hit by a water type attack most of the time anyway because they were expecting you to Terra regardless.
Yeah.
So
I've had a few of my players, my USPA team, use the Ursaluna with Terra Dragon, and really it's just it turns into like an ultimate like anti-balance breaker. Again, it's because like they might not throw that water or that grass type attack into you because they expect you to Terra, but even if they aren't going to have that, like when you're up against water, fire, grass, and you can avoid the Amoonguss because you can burn yourself with the Flame Orb, and then just go Terra Dragon, and now I resist the Surging Strikes or the Wood Hammer or the Flare Blitz and everything, and I'm able to blow holes into the team, whether it's with Headlong Rush or Facade. That is the idea behind it. Ursaluna is a Pokemon that has like a lot of different Terra options against Fairy. While we won't really cover this tournament, we would be remiss in not mentioning that Shohei went and ran almost this exact 6 as well. He went with the differences on this team was he went with Citrus on the Amoonguss and Terra Ghost on the Ursaluna. Again, for like the few differences that we've been seeing on these teams. But like this is, I mean, we're talking about Shohei, one of the best players in the history of this game, decided that as of right now, this was a team that he thought he could win VR with, which he was very successful in doing so. Made a grand this weekend, so shout out to Shohei. And yeah, this 6 right here, it's absolutely and utterly dominant. And it's something like if you're like looking for a team for EOIC, maybe run this. If you're also looking to not run this for EOIC, get a ton of reps in against this. You're going to see this a lot.
While we're shouting out the Ursaluna teams, this is the last one of top 8 for this event.
There's 8th place has one as well.
This is 8th place.
Oh, I had.
We talked about 6. We talked about 3, 4. We talked about 1. This is 8.
Yep.
This is the only one without the Tailwind mode, but we kind of swapped Tailwind for the bulky Icy Wind booster speed Fluttermane, which it's not a perfect replacement. I still personally think I like the Tornadus on these teams in this slot.
Yeah.
But this Fluttermane plays much better with the Okidogi that's in this slot up here.
Yeah, and I think that's the other thing with this team, with putting the Assault Vest on the Okidogi, that turns your Incineroar into more of a standard, like, safety goggles. Again, the version that we're used to seeing a little more. The Okidogi on this team, like, so you see the Poison Jab, you see no upper hand.
I feel like that's a mistake. Upper hand's so good.
Yeah, because again, like, going back to the Farigiraf version of this team with the Sun, it's like, they can threaten you. The best way to stop or like get around Trick Room or Tailwind, or in this case the Icy Wind on the Fluttermane as well, is just like firing off go and fire off a Sucker Punch. We're Terra Ghost in the Ursaluna. If you're forced to Terra to avoid like a close combat or even an Icicle Crash or something from the Chien-Pao, and they call it and they go Sucker Punch instead, that's going to really suck.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm Okidogi's a Pokemon that I always look at and I say, wow, this must be so fun to play. And then I cannot picture myself in my head ever using this Pokemon, let alone using it correctly.
You gotta get. I will send you the pace later from what I've been playing. It is an Okidogi team. Like, let me tell you, it is all Okidogi all the time. It wins games by itself. It is almost raid boss worthy. How stupid Okidogi can be in these teams. My one complaint is we are the Poison Jab. You do not pick up KOs in this format with Poison Jab as much as you think you will. My other complaint is I don't know why we're Ice Punch. that coverage isn't necessary on this team. I feel like, especially since we have like Ice Beam here.
Yeah,
you don't need the second.
Yeah, like I've been seeing a handful of people. I forgot.
Usually the coverage move is high horsepower, but if you're playing that coverage move, you're not playing upper hand, and that feels like a mistake most of the time.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to go through because I can't remember. I know someone just put Ice Punch. No, they put Ice Punch on the Ursaluna.
Yeah, Ice Punch on the Ursaluna I've seen.
Yeah,
and it's fine. Like it's great for the forcing Terras in the mirror.
It's also great for just having them on to like handle Landorus to an extent.
I mean, you just have Icy Wind. Icy Wind just does it. Like if you've been a Landorus that's stuck without being able to Terra in front of these bulky Fluttermanes, man, is it a big feel bad. They just click Icy Wind and just like 90% you. But that was the I would call Ursaluna the big winner from this past weekend. Even though we didn't really see it at all in we didn't really even see it at all in Birmingham, if I remember right.
Yeah, I don't think so. Or like I know if we did, it wasn't a lot.
Like it was not that popular. Yeah, there was one from Marco Silva. Yeah, there's two. There's Maddie and Marco. And then there was another one.
Florian.
Florian, yeah. Okay, so that's what I was wanting to count. I wanted to count how many top aided this past weekend. So that's 3.
And
Maddie
and
5.
And Maddie, yeah. Plus, and Maddie and Morgan were playing the same set as, or at least the same 6 as David and Kenneth. That Amoonguss P2, Urshifu, Torn, Incin.
You know why Shohei picked up the team, right?
No. Well,
it's because he lost to Maddie. It's because he lost to Maddie, who played it and beat him with it. That's why he picked it up.
Yeah, no, it's round 13. Yeah.
So that was 3 in Birmingham, 5 in Meridia, 4 at the VR, and then 1, I think, in Auckland. Was that what it was?
I'm going to tell you the truth. I've skimmed through the Auckland stuff when it was posted. I think it was like VR.
1 in Auckland. Yep. 1 in Auckland.
Yeah. Unbelievable weekend for this Pokemon.
That's crazy. For a Pokemon that people kind of pushed off to the side going into this second round of Reg F is like, oh, balance will be great. It'll be fine. You don't need to play this Pokemon. Like P2 or Ursaluna is not going to do that great. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
The bear is everywhere. The other big thing going back to Meridia that was the difference from Birmingham, there was almost no Raging Bolt like near the top tables. Like you got like 2 or 3 here on some of the, like there's 2 in top 8. There's 1 here which is the 9th place in Austin Lee, Paul Ruiz, and then it kind of just like there's 1 at 15th. It did not have a good weekend.
Yeah, and I think it's like one of those things. Like inversely, when the most popular Pokemon is an insanely powerful ground type, the insanely powerful electric type is going to have a bit more of a rough weekend. Like the big thing with this Pokemon in Ursaluna is that it is the massive balance breaker. Between its typing, you're able to pretty much blow through most teams' cores, whether it's with your Facade or high horsepower, Headlong Rush, and yeah, you're able to just get into a position where they can't pivot as well because there's no damage calc. You broke the damage calc with your bear. It's the damage calc is your HP hits 0.
Yeah.
Try again next round, buddy.
But to see a almost 10% change from day 1 to day 2 in an event means that it did not do well. That is a big negative. You lost 10% of your however many appearances, 85. So yeah, 9 of them just immediately fell off. Out of the, I think it was like 200 teams. Yeah, So that was
again a rough week for this Pokemon.
Just to this event, like
Birmingham,
for that
event,
it's still
it won the other one.
Like Birmingham, it's obviously because it's
Europe.
It's Europe. It does the opposite. Has almost a 10% jump.
But again, it was an event where, while there was a handful of ursaluna at the top tables, it didn't have the overall increase that we saw in Marina.
Yeah.
So let's look at some.
I mean, it did had a 10% jump too.
Yeah.
Let's go back to. Yep. I gotta step back here. Back to Meridia.
Let's finally talk about second place. Victor Minoth has been waiting for our analysis on his team.
I mean, there's not much to really explain outside of you have a Gouging Fire Dragonite duo. The rest of the team fits the I am the balance kind of nonsense. I have my speed control and my Flutter Mane. I have my Landorus with Life Orb. I have my Golden Go with Metal Coat. I have my Ogre Pond that has Follow Me. Your weird stuff is this pairing of Gouging Fire Dragonite, which I feel like this doesn't get away with anything in this format. Outside of you get one Howl off before you get Intimidate cycled down.
Yeah, because you're the multi-scale on the Dragonite instead of running the Inner Focus. Now, Gouging Fire, along with having the Howl to boost your attack stat, which helps not only itself, but the Dragonite and the Ogerpon Wellspring, it also has, it's working as a damage reduction mon as well, with a Snarl and Breaking Swipe. So, Breaking Swipe being your quote-unquote Intimidate, that can't intimidate fairies, and Snarl, of course, lowering the special attack. So, giving the Pokemon 2 spread options, and honestly, if you somehow do get a handful of Howls off, the Breaking Swipe does do a pretty good amount of damage. It's a low base power attack that is spread, but you also, after any amount of attack boosts, usually your damage does well, and you're also getting the stab on it.
Yeah.
One of the interesting things with the Dragonite is that this is the Terra Flying Terra Blast, not something that we've really seen a lot of ever since
people figured out Scale Shot's good.
Well, I was going to go further and say ever since we figured out that Scale Shot's in the game, because we really weren't even seeing the Terra Flying Dragonite in Regulation D. At that point, it was just the banded
Terra normal. Blow
with
things
the
up.
E-Speed. And so along with the Terra Blast, we also see Dragon Claw on it. So having Dragon Stab that isn't the Outrage. Another move that we usually see more so on the banded sets than this set. And then Ice Spinner to go with the Extreme Speed. Ice Spinner is pretty much here to get rid of the Psychic Terrain, try to make your size spam matchup a lot more manageable, along with the Snarl on the Gouging Fire, and then your Goldingo too. So that's my thought here. Clearly it worked for Victor, came in second place, but it's weird to call a Dragonite like this a weird pick, but also it's a weird pick.
Yeah. Looking through teams that they played, they lost to a Pikachu in round 2.
Yo!
They beat a Psy-Spam team round 1. Beat Goldie, Regidrago, Sneasler in round 3. Beat Balance round 4. Beat Psy-Spam round 5. Beat a Meowstic round 6. Lost to David, which they played again in top 4, and he won, and Victor won. Played against Sunroom, beat it. Played against Rain, beat it. Played against Blood Moon Ursaluna, beat it. Played against Balance from Paul Ruiz, beat him. Played
William
against
Brown as well.
Beat William Brown in another balancey tie up a matchup. Got the salty run back against David Soto in top 4, and then obviously lost to Max in the finals.
Yeah. No, that this Pikachu. I'm going to find this Pikachu team after. We will talk about this. Nuts. But before we get to that, we have a few more teams in the top end. Like again, there were only a handful of teams I'd say outside of the top 8. Like really, the story of this weekend is Ursaluna. For this tournament. Now, of course, William Brown also didn't run it. He ran a relatively familiar.
This should look like a lot of things we've seen before. Oh, look, there's a Fluttermane. Oh, look, there's a Landorus, Ogerpon, Raging Bolt. Hisuian Arcanine kind of has become interchangeable with Incineroar, in my opinion, on some teams, depending on what your support around the rest of the team is. In this case, we have Chen Pao so that makes a lot more sense to play it here than it does to play like an Incineroar. If you haven't been able to just like choice band head smash somebody, you are missing out.
No, everyone's got to do it once.
It's a delete button, let me tell you. Especially with the Chen Pao in this team. Like you just happen to pivot out whatever into Chen Pao, and then this Arcanine just head smashes into whatever, and it's just gone.
No, you do have to wash yourself because head smash is also a delete button for yourself. You are taking a lot of recoil.
Oh yeah, you're gonna take a lot of recoil.
Math that out before you click the button, buddy.
But it's just like playing Final Gambit Annihilate. Sometimes you just need to delete something, and if you just delete the problem, you're both down to 3, and it's fine.
Now, one of the reasons why on this team like this you are going with the Arcanine, and it's kind of at this point like just like tried and true lead. The amount of disruption that this Thunderwave, Icy Wind, Fluttermane, and the Rock Slide spam that the Hisuian Arcanine is able to provide is really, really good. Arcanine is also a relatively fast Pokemon. You hit 156 speed when you are max Jolly. That is outspeeding, I believe, a handful. I think it's like, actually, what speed is
Goldango, I believe, is 84.
Base 84. Yeah. And I know you outspeed Goldango. So...
Yeah, you outspeed Goldango. I believe it's just because you're naturally faster than it anyway, so it's just like whatever.
Yeah, because you are base 90.
Yeah, I'm about to say 90 is just like just below where you kind of want everything to be anyway.
Yeah.
So if a good benchmark is that 157, 158 range. If you're like a base 100, not fully investing in speed, that's usually about the benchmark you want to hit, is beating base 90s and things like that.
Yeah, because I just want to check something real quick. So one of the things you do as well that's also really cool, you're outspeeding believe you're outspeeding non-boosted base hundreds. Yes, you are. You are able to outspeed. No, that's 103. You're outspeeding non-speed boosting base 103s. Is like your top. Now, is there anything in this format that's base 103 that's important? Off the top of my head, I don't know. But that's a cool number to like think of, like with the speed of this Arcanine, and then you throw in all the support that the Fluttermane can do. And with that all being said, spamming T-Wave and Rock Slide, you can just win the game and not let your opponent play because you just paraflinch the hell out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, this is a team that's really come up and has honestly had a lot of an impressive amount of staying power, and is another team that you should probably be looking for come EUIC.
We'll have that episode out eventually.
No, EUIC will be in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it'll probably be next week.
Our preview's next week.
Yeah, that's what I said. The EUIC preview will be next week.
So do you want to go over any we have Sebastian Rodriguez.
Hey, look, balance. Okay. Yep. Well, sorry.
I will going just really quick going back to it. Other things that I would like to talk about with that team. We do see the life orb on the Raging Bolt again, which let you pull that up real quick.
We've talked about this 6.
Yes, but still another example of us going into that more heavy offensive, like immediate Raging Bolt instead of the setup version. That's honestly the only really cool thing about this team. This team has every.
I think
tool
all
for
of
you to
them,
win.
I think Life Orb ended up being one of the more popular items
At this tournament, probably
in general.
So Raging Bolt, Life Orb. There were only 6 of them.
A lot of them have swapped to the Assault Vest.
Yeah, I was going to say Assault Vest was the most popular at 44, 51, so almost 52%, 23.5% for lefties, Booster Energy at 9.41%, and then Life Orb at 7%.
What's funny is that matches up almost perfectly to Birmingham's percentages.
Yeah.
It is almost to a T. 53, 23, 10, and 8.
Yeah. You also had a Clamulet, and someone ran Scope Lens.
The cool ones here are Weakness Policy, Mirror Herb.
Yes.
The Weakness Policy one, more power to you. That Bulldoze turn 1 into Thunderclap him on turn 2 probably hits like a truck. Anywho,
I was going to say, just going through some teams. I know you wanted to bring up 13th place.
Yeah, so it's interesting because yes, Solo, Dozo, Ting-Lu, Gouging Fire, Shen Pao, Dragonite. We've seen that 5 of it before. Usually that 6 slot's kind of boring. In this situation, we're just going all in on the I'm going to set up and sweep you. We have a Corviknight, which we don't see Corviknight a ton. And we won't see Corviknight a ton when we go into Champions because we got Mega Skarmory. So sorry, Corviknight, you had like 2 shots to beat Skarmory and you didn't do it. So this is a bulk up Brave Bird, Roost, Ironhead, like Citrus Berry set. We used to see this a lot in early formats where Corviknight can just set up because there's no risk of getting O-code anywhere anytime soon. Yeah. Which also kind of is a thing in this format for Corviknight in particular, with its typing and mirror armor, being able to like reflect intimidates and stat drops and things like that. It ends up being a situation of I'm going to get to do my thing. I am bulky enough to do that. Good luck doing your thing while I sit here and just click this button. But what works great with this Corviknight is the fact that if you focus down the Corviknight, the rest of the team kills you.
Yeah.
If you focus down the rest of the team, the Corviknight kills you. So it's just, you can't win in this situation.
Yeah, I think, and also one of the really great things, like with the core of this weekend on this team, is that with how bad of a weekend that Raging Bolt had in Merida, that just helps the Corviknight Bolt
even more
its biggest like enemy. Corv is always just like kind of like the matchup check like anti-bullshit Pokemon. I will say this, I don't think anyone's ever actually excited to see a Corviknight across the field from them. It's always a Pokemon that it's in the back of your head. It's like, oh yeah, this is something that like if it has the right set, it'll just mess me up. But what are the odds of me seeing it? And then you sit across the table, you see the Corv, and all you're doing is looking at your opponent's smile when they see your team sheet and realize that
you can't touch me.
Yeah, it's it is a really cool Pokemon. I know, like, once we get to a similar-ish Pokemon, I'm excited to use the Mega Skarmory because I feel like the Skarmory is going to be able to do everything the Corviknight can do, and also can do all of the other things.
The day we get the home transfer for ZA to home, it's just going to go nuts. The whole internet is going to break because we're going to have stats for everything and abilities, like official stats, not ZA inflated stats for certain things.
Yeah. So I don't know, like, I'm going through, do you want, like, I mean, we've talked a lot about Rain recently. The 2 teams that I would say that these are both 5 and 3 teams that have like some interesting mons. Let me just pull this last one up. The first one is Fernando Castillo. I can actually share this if you don't mind.
I have it. I know where it's at, yeah.
Fernando Castillo, 45th place. This is the Pikachu team.
It's Pikachu!
It's balanced, but with a Pikachu. Now, what Pikachu is able to do on this team is just act as a redirector of the electric type attacks with its lightning rod ability. You are running physical with Volt Tackle, and the Volt Tackle works really, really great with your Endeavor. The idea of it is you Volt Tackle to do a ton of damage, knock not only your opponent's HP down really low, but your own HP as well. You can do the same with a sub too, and then you're just able to use Endeavor to chip down your opponent's strong legendary Pokemon like their Raging Bolt or their Lando to the HP of a Pikachu, where your partner Pokemon, whether it's the Fluttermane, your own Lando, your Raging Bolt, whatever it is, just handles it because you took away all of its bulk.
I wonder how many times they clicked Thunderclap with their Pikachu on the field. I wonder how many times they've done that. That's the first non-bo. I saw that. I'm just like, you are not ever wanting to do that.
Yeah,
like that is like the worst case scenario. Is like you get stuck in a situation where it's like, well, Thunderclap wins the game, but I got a Pikachu on the field, and Pikachu's gonna eat this Thunderclap, and I can't beat that. Yeah, it's cool. Pikachu seeing this kind of stuff always gets all the little Timmies in a twist. It's like, oh, play with your favorites, win with your favorites, blah blah blah. And it's like, just play good Pokemon. I don't.
Yeah,
just play good Pokemon. It's cool that you see Pikachu. You're not Fernando Castillo.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things is it's your understanding the strengths of your Pokemon and you're playing with purpose. And at the same time, we talked like using like Endeavor to knock your HP down low. There's other ways to do it. One of the more popular things that we were seeing in Birmingham was the paint split on Fluttermane to take advantage of the Fluttermane super low base HP stat and everything else is super high base HP stat or higher than 55 and attacking it that way. So while Fernando figured out a really great way to use this Pokemon, the face of the franchise, and was also a game off making day 2 using it, it was probably more so, I want to play Pikachu. Here is the best way for me to play Pikachu.
This is the best way for me to play with Pikachu. It's not a situation of Pikachu is the answer to whatever. It's, I just wanted to play with this Pokemon, and this is the best way I knew how to play with it. Yeah. I was watching someone watch, like, I guess they were for Magic the Gathering, they had the Pro Tour this weekend, and one of my streamers I watch all the time was co-streaming that, and he had a good little insightful information on it. It's just because someone was like, oh, well, why don't you play this in your Cybert, or why don't you play this in your main deck, and it solves all these problems. And he's just like, the thought of picking a card to beat a specific matchup, or doing it for, like, having the, like you said, the intent to play that card for that matchup outweighs the actual benefits of having that Pokemon, or in this case, that card in their deck. Pikachu has an inherent downside. Pikachu is not a real Pokemon in the sense of VGC.
Yeah.
This is, you effectively are coming half cocked to a game of, they have 6 Pokemon, I have 5.5 or 5.25, depending on the matchup. It's very much like when we see Weezing. Like, Weezing has specific matchups when you see it, unlike the Dozo teams. And so those teams naturally already are going to be real tight on team slots when going into like team select. And so you end up giving up more information playing those types of battles than you do playing a more standard, balanced, whatever natural team. And so it's cool, play with your favorites, have fun. I'm all for that. I don't mind that. If you're trying to, like, if your goal is to win, just make sure you just play good Pokemon. And not good Pokemon as in the sense of individual Pokemon, good Pokemon as in making good choices, Pokemon is very data driven. For as much as we like to say it's a lot of random, there's a lot of data, there's a lot of numbers. Like, your choices matter.
Yeah. And there's also so much information we have now, even compared to when we started the podcast. Hell, even from the time I joined the podcast to now, the amount of information that we have available just from what we've gathered in Gen 9, I think that's the biggest difference in VGC from when we all started to right now. Is everything is just out there. Like, it would take a ton of information. I mean, I'll go back to 22. You had Evan just literally DMing people after day one of regional. Hey, do you mind sharing with me what you played? And could you share a paste if you have it? And now it's Tim has Lab Mouse. It just, you get everything everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, if it was a Limitless Tour or a major, like, yeah, it's right there. The amount of information, and with that information, the amount of ability for you to make good choices and understand what a Pokemon's role is in a certain team it's right there for you. And it doesn't mean that you also, again, can't make some weirder choices. There's two other teams I want to, one mainly, and then another team where I'm like, but maybe we can bring it up. The first one I definitely do want to bring up, finish a little behind Fernando. This is Raul Ramos in 47th place.
You want to talk about Screamtail and Suicune?
Yes, I do. And in the grand scheme of things, when we pull this up, so the team, it's Screamtail, Booster Energy Screamtail with the Encore Disable tech, Goggles Incineroar.
Tech, like we haven't seen it like a million times before.
Well, it's that version of the Screamtail, the only version of Screamtail.
But that's the only version of Screamtail. What do you talking about?
The Rocky Helmet Suicune as your support water type with Tailwind, Snarl, and Scald. AV Rilla, Lefty's Raging Bolt, and Sash Darkfu. What's interesting with the Darkfu is that it goes with the defensive Terra Steel instead of doubling down on the offense with the Terra Dark that we have seen in the past on the Darkfu. And again, the main idea of this team, it's a bulky team with a Tailwind mode with the Suicune. Your main damage dealers, or like what you want to do your damage with, is going to be the Sash Urshifu single strike, and of course getting the Raging Bolt set up, get a handful of Calm Minds, and just going from there. So it is a plan and a lot of Pokemon that we've seen before, but the way that they go at it is a little interesting, like having the Suicune with Snarl to be a special attack damage mitigator, along with the Intimidate from the Incineroar. The Scald adding a burn chance to that as well, to really double down on stopping physical damage, along with the Intimidate. And of course, we know the locking power of the Encore Disable that Screamtail is able to offer as another way to help get the Raging Bolt set up. Again, this is just a team that has a lot of cool pieces, a lot of very standard pieces, but then two different support Pokemon to really help the stars of the show really do what they want to do. And I will leave this saying that I still remember Zach Weed talking to me about Orlando when he brought Screamtail along with Justin Knox, and the two of them saying that they might as well have played 5 Pokemon the entire weekend because Screamtail never came.
Yeah.
So Raul, I hope Screamtail came for you.
Looking at Raul's progress through the day, they were out at top day 2 contention by round 6. So
yes, and they did clean up in round 7 and 8 to at least to get that respectable 5-3.
This definitely starts to border on the I want to call it the too cute scale, not because of Screamtail itself, but just because the ideas of what they're trying to do to get to their win condition is a little more convoluted than what the other good teams are doing. Cool, you have an Encore Disable Screamtail. In this format, swapping isn't as big a deal as it is in other formats. You can pivot around and do whatever pretty easily. And so it's like Encore Disable doesn't feel as big as a detriment in this format, because there's nothing really threatening me on the other side other than this Raging Bolt. Like, if this Raging Bolt's at 3 Calm Minds, I'm probably going to get knocked out pretty quick. However, if I let you set up to 3 Calm Minds with 2 Pokemon on myself on the field, that's my own fault. That's me playing bad. That's not the Screamtail doing anything to me. That's me not maximizing my resources, knowing I have a Encore disable Screamtail on the side. Like, you could play around this thing so easily that it just feels a little too cute. Same goes for that Suicune. That Suicune does not scare me one bit at all.
No,
You're gonna hit me with a Scald for burn chance. Most of the Pokemon that are good in this current format do not care about that burn. Either they're a fire type that doesn't care, or they're a special attacker that doesn't care, or their name's Waterfoo, and it doesn't care. So this borders just on the realm of just being just a little too cute for, in my opinion, to be good.
And I think one of the other things is also, at least, and I think we can just leave it at this team, because I saw a team with Spectrier. Again, I'm just being nostalgic.
I have one I want to talk about still.
Okay. But before we get to that team, like, one of the things with the Screamtail is also just understanding your metagame. Now, if the Combine, Raging Bolt, and setup as a whole was a big, big thing, using Encore or Disable to stop that setup, it's really, really powerful. That was a thought process that Zach and Justin had with running Screamtail in Orlando back in 24. But in this current format, we were just talking about it with the Raging Bolt, where items such as Booster Energy, Life Orb, and Assault Vest have been so popular, it's not clicking that Combine button as much. So it's understanding that metagames change, and what was really good last time around doesn't mean it could still be good, but it might not be as popular. Things fluctuate. Certain things just go into strong pockets. And I think like that's another lesson to learn with the Screamtail, where on paper Screamtail probably would have been really great like the first couple weeks of this format, when people are just going back to the Combine, Raging Bolt, or of course on paper last format. But the current iteration, it's not as strong.
Yeah. I will quote my new head coach for this format. This second round of Reg F is all gas, no brakes. There is no real much setup. It is a lot of people swapping out to Life Orb, swapping out to Bulk out, swapping. The Calm Mind setups aren't really common anymore. Like, your only setup mon really anymore is usually a Golden Go, and that's just because people are just playing the Nasty Plot Golden Go because it just counteracts the make it raindrops, because that's just good. That's just being a good player.
Yep.
Speaking of Golden Go,
last team,
bam. So I wanted to bring this up because this is very, very close to what
you've been playing.
This is very close to what I've been playing. My one swap is because I have my raid boss Heatran instead of this Entei. But we saw this the other in Birmingham. It's the Hex with the Sacred Fire and the Thunder Wave and the Gunk Shot team. Like, we saw this before. But I just want to bring this back up because this is like it's Roaring Moon starting to come back into a little bit. Is this archetype going to be good? I went 10-2 in playing the other version, not playing Entei Golden Go. I think it's Heatran Flutter, I think is what I have. No, Heatran Lando.
No. Yeah.
So like I have different damage threats, but it's a very similar style of I'm going to set my screens. I have my Okie Dokie to interact with Fake Out. I have my Roaring Moon to be my speed control / interaction / damage. I have Ogre Pond to redirect moves and just be annoying. Can you beat my setup Mon or my Mon that just kills you before you're gone? Like, that's kind of the goal of this team. The screens help immensely. No one's playing any kind of Psychic Fang / Brick Break anymore. No one really respects that kind of stuff. So I wanted to bring this up because this is something that we might see a little bit more of as the teams start to lean more into that booster Raging Bolt, the Life Orb, whatever. The bigger damage numbers mean that screens is a better call.
Yeah. And of course, this is a Urshifu meta. Like, Urshifu is a Pokemon in the metagame. Screens are always going to be, screw you, Surging Strikes.
This is so important to have when you're playing
with the screens team.
The
Absolutely.
screens is because you just tell Urshifu to bugger off.
Yeah,
leave me alone.
Yep, but like that's the other thing where as we get to this bulky offense meta, so to speak, something like screens where you're able to just set that immediate bulk up to your have that immediate bulk added to your team with the click of a button is really important, and having a match go 8 to 10 turns and letting your Grim just be a menace, not only just with the help of damage reduction, but also just spamming Thunder Wave. Like, the Fluttermane's doing it, why can't the Grimmsnarl too?
You know what's a really good move into Raging Bolt? Spirit Break.
Yep. Awesome. Kick-ass move.
They either are wasting their turns clicking Thunderclap into you because they can't click Dragon Pulse, or they're just eating free Spirit Breaks over and over and over, and they're sad about it. I have won many a game on the back of just playing Grimmsnarl Okie Dokie. Okay, how do you beat this? I have Drain Punch. I've got a +1 off thanks to your Incineroar. How are you touching me?
I mean, the answer is a Landorus, but yeah, that's why you have all the other Pokemon.
That's why you have your Terra types for your Okie Dokie. Yeah. That's partly why you start to see the Ice Punch on them, maybe just to beat the Landorus. I just still like being Terra Water, and then I just hit you with a Gunk Shot or whatever. Yeah. Because I also have the Light Screen and the Assault Vest. Your special bulk, once you Terra away from your ground weakness, is nuts.
Yeah, and also one of the things that the Okie Dokie is able to punish with that is that with the Landorus, a lot of them playing the Terra Steel, you want them to Terra in front of you so you can just hit them with a Drain Punch. Or if they go back to the more classic Terra Poison, you have the high horsepower.
Yeah, you're going to get them. You got them one way or the other. You have your tools. So if you could force the Terra, your Okie Dokie wins that matchup pretty much every time.
Yeah, but again, I think Junie a few weeks ago we said this going through a few teams at Toronto. This is the type of team that Hurt I wish we could play, and it ends up turning just into either bulky offense or balance with a Trick Room mode.
I will teach you the ways, don't worry.
maybe when we get our first non-Urshifu meta back, I'll go try to play some screens. Screens with Megas sounds fun. That sounds great.
If we get Grimmsnarl with the Megas, that's gonna be nuts.
I'm
ready for it. I want it. I want it because I love Grimmsnarl. But that's gonna be crazy having Grimmsnarl plus screens, Prankster screens plus the Megas. Which technically we'll have that because Meowstick's a thing.
Yeah, but actually, honestly, I wouldn't put it past people for thinking of doing that.
You're gonna what's Mega Meowstick gonna do?
Yeah, that's the thing where it's Grim. You have
you're immune. You're immune to other Prankster and things like that. And
yeah, you also actually have a real bulk stat and a real offense stat.
Yeah, you actually get to do something besides set screens.
Yeah. So it is, but
it'll be neat.
It'll be fun. Again, this is a really cool team, and we're hoping to see a few more cool teams in the upcoming weeks. I believe we have an Australian event this week.
I believe that is correct.
Yep, because Matt's been testing for that on the Pokemon Go
Sydney,
side. Right? Yes, it is. So Sydney's this upcoming week. So that'll be the 7th.
That'll be our last event before EUIC, before we get to, it'll kind of be our litmus test to see what sticks and what doesn't.
Yeah. So we'll definitely be seeing that, and we'll be able to cover that next week. EUIC the following week, and then we're going straight into Pokemon Day predictions on the 22nd. Well, episode out on the 23rd. And we can also put a fun prediction of, will I be moved into my house by Pokemon Day or not?
No.
Who can say?
No.
We will find out.
Taking bets now.
Put your bets in now. Will Angelo be moved into his house by the time will I be watching Pokemon Day from my house in Rhode Island or my apartment in Massachusetts? Who can say?
apartment in
this is
Massachusetts.
I was going to say it's a Friday. It looks like we might have a morning meeting that's just set aside. Really, I don't think my boss listens to this, and I don't think he would care, but I also hope he doesn't hear this.
I'm going to make sure to forward it to your boss now.
Anywho, yeah, you can hear all the coverage. Again, put your bets in on when I actually move, or I'm finally moved in the comments of the podcast. And you can do that on YouTube at Littleroot Lessons, on all podcatchers, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Spotify now allows you to put comments and show notes. Make sure to rate us there as well. 5 stars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can also find us on social media, on Blue Sky at Littleroot Lessons, and our hosts, Carter at Mr. Missouri 25, Carl at Musical, and myself at Rose Tinted Cheeks. You can go see me have like just a tiny crash out about Sabrina Carpenter getting robbed for the Grammy for Best Music Video. Just yeah. And yeah, that is that's kind of it for the week right now. A lot of fun stuff potentially coming through. We're going to be using this month leading up into Champions to just get our ducks in a row so that when we hopefully get Champions, whether it is on Pokemon Day on the Friday or even a few weeks after, we're just going to be ready to go with some events.
Yeah,
so, yeah, with that
everyone will be ready to play. It'll be being able to play on your phone is the big kicker, right? Like that's going to be the big draw. I'm hoping that it's a Pokemon Day launch. And like, I mean, if it's just a slow launch, you just launch on Pokemon Day, slowly through over the weekend and things like that. That'd be fine. But definitely we'll be trying to get events going for that because everybody want to play the new stuff, play with new Pokemon, Megas, and etc. I'm still hoping we get like Coliseum XD on the Switch 2 on Pokemon Day.
It should happen this year. I hope.
That was supposed to, like, we were so excited because they teased that when they Switch 2 dropped in June. And it's like, man, they've had X amount of months to get this done, and still hasn't happened. They got everybody all up in a tizzy because they had, I don't know if you got to see this, they had Metroid Prime 2 and Pikmin 2 on this little graphic at Walmart.
I did see that, yeah.
And it got everyone so excited because, well, Pikmin 2 is already a game that you can buy for the Switch 2 and Switch 1. So they tend to not do that. And so it was like, oh, they're breaking the mold, doing this and that, putting Metroid Prime 2, because that was one of the games that the creator of Metroid Prime wanted everyone to at least play once, and it is just a incorrect placard. They weren't paying attention to what they put on there when they put it out there, and it's wrong. And so, who knows when we're getting whatever for the Switch 2. But that's my big hope is Champions, Shadow Drop, and then give me XD and Coliseum so I have other games to play.
Yeah, we'll go into
more in depth. I got a laundry list of things that I want.
Yeah.
But those are the big two.
Yes. So hopefully we'll get all that soon, and again, if you want to start talking about like what you're excited about leading into EUIC and then leading into Pokemon Day, again, please leave us some comments. Try to interact with us on social media. Interact with the host on social media. We don't bite.
I love reading the comments on YouTube. Please send me more comments. My phone is tied to those. Like I will get those almost instantly. As soon as you comment, I usually have a reply to by as soon as they're posted. So definitely more comments.
Thank you very much, everyone. Pray for my Grammy pool. Bye.